Alright guys, my name's Chris Davenport with D's Balls in Stuart, Florida. And this is the holiday edition. And I decided to bring one of my really good friends, Zach Buehler with Buehler Reptiles, in today to talk about what he works with and how he got into the industry and stuff. He did a few videos when we first started back in the day. And then now this is the first time that he's a guest on our channel, and we're gonna talk to him, see where he started. We decided to wear our holiday sweaters today and really take this festive time and spend it with our families. And I hope you guys enjoy this video on Christmas or the day after, whenever you get to see it, and hope you enjoy the content. Thanks.
I'm Zach with Buehler Reptiles. I appreciate Chris for letting me come over here and show some off some of the animals that I currently work with. Chris has been a great friend, and it definitely helps to have the good friends in the industry to support you and kind of push you along. But pretty much like anybody else who breeds snakes, I started catching garter snakes in Illinois when I was about 4 and bought my first animal as a Cuban anole when I was 8. And I've always had snakes or lizards or tortoises, turtles. It really hasn't mattered. So sitting on 45 now, 35 plus years of doing it because I love it.
So what species do you enjoy working with the most?
Actually, I really enjoy working with the hognoses, various species of the hognose, western, the Madagascar. Also, I'm working with the tricolors for the first time. I'm trying to get them to breed in size. I like a lot of the Pituophis, the bull snakes, pine snakes. A really awesome species to work with. And milk snakes are probably one of the ones that have captured my attention for quite a few years, just because of the color and the variation. They get the nice, decent size.
You brought some animals for us to look at today.
Yeah.
All right. And we don't know what's in each bag. So this is going to be a grab bag guess what is in the bag. And
pretty much.
We're going to show it off. And then you'll kind of talk about it and what your plans are breeding it, and what is the time that it takes to grow them up from hatchling to ball pythons. In this industry, ball pythons, I know you work with a few of those. We have kind of a benchmark of females that are 1,500 grams, males that are 500 grams, and then some people are 1,200 grams, and then now us in the industry, we're ultrasounding, and we're once that girl hits 1,300, we're starting to ultrasound and we're starting to look. So we have the technology now to really look inside these snakes and say, hey, this girl's starting to develop and stuff, and she's slamming food. I see some follicles there. She's maybe a 10 millimeter follicle. And now I'm gonna put that male in there, and I'm gonna see if this grows and that female grows, or if it doesn't take. Sometimes they have follicles and they never take, and you're like, she has them there, I see them, and it's that. So let's talk about, these different species, how you figure out that they're rabid, what's the weight, what's the time, because I know some of these, like the pine snakes and stuff like that, they have to be a little bit older, age-wise, developed. So if you can talk about that and tell people, because, some people buying a snake like a pine or something, that they don't get in their mind like, hey, I'm gonna have this snake in a year and be able to breed it, or a year or 2 years and be able to breed it. So
I guess it really depends who you talk to. There's varying opinions, but the classic rule of thumb from what I've gathered talking to people is typically the 3 years of age and roughly 5 foot. That way you at least give the time for the for the female to develop. It's more importantly for the female to develop versus the male, because the males usually mature a lot quicker than the females do. But you always want to let them have, mature, get the proper appropriate size so they can have viable clutches year after year, or give them breaks and stuff. But versus having smaller clutches just to have a snake, which is really not what we're doing. You'd rather have a healthy snake that can give you a viable clutch of 4 or 6. If you're a pine snake, or
you had like the Madagascar, you had a viable clutch, and you had, I think, 19 babies in it. And
I read that typically they have clutches of 6 to 12, and she had 19 eggs.
So you did good.
Yeah,
they all went.
They
I
all
was
did.
with you in Daytona.
That was 100%.
Those things were
hatch rate.
Those things were flying off the shelf. They were going.
They were quick.
They were. So and I see in this reptile industry, when you do have something that's unique or different, people gravitate to it, and they really move and stuff. They take so let's talk about like ball pythons. We all have a hot spot. We don't brumate like these have to brumate and stuff like that. So talk about like cooling down the room and where you gotta go. I mean, you have to do like these certain steps to get into the into the breeding season.
Well, that's one thing I was always concerned about living in Florida, about the whole brumating. Looking into it more. A lot of breeders can use refrigerators, get the temperatures down where they need to. Some can cool their entire room with ACs, which could be expensive with the power bill. Sometimes you get lucky enough where you can live in central and northern Florida, to where it actually gets a little cooler than it does down here in the southeast coast.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to at least do it to the point to where I can get the room cool.
Yeah.
In order to simulate like a similar winter for about 2 months, then I gradually raise the room and the temperature. It's like an ambient thing. So, but I still have my ball pythons on heat. I still have a lot of the babies on heat as well. I do this strictly for the colubrids or of size that are ready.
So what do you take the room down to?
I usually take the room down to 69, and I keep it there for roughly about 2 months.
69.
Yep. And the snakes that require the heat are still on the heat, and I have to adjust the heat a little bit to make sure that you're still keeping their appropriate temps. But for the ones that are on heat, it's kind of simulating a winter time for them.
Yeah, I picked up some blue-tongue eastern skinks from Australian.
They eat
German,
cat food.
A special bloodline that came from R&B reptiles. I'm a ball python guy, and I try different things, and it throws me to a different level and stuff like that. So Zach, now we teamed up, and he keeps the skinks over at his house because he does have the animals that brumate and stuff like that. So he has them over there now, and he enjoys hanging out with them.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Yeah. So
You got bit yet?
Not yet. But what is pretty cool, you hold them and they stick their tongue out, and it's super big and it's super, like an indigo or like a dark navy blue. I mean, they're pretty cool, but it's first time I'm working with them, so it's definitely a neat experience.
Yeah.
By the way, I need cat food.
Oh, I got cat food.
I forgot to keep texting you, man. I need the cat food.
Now we're gonna play Pick the Bag and see what Zach brought. So Zach brought some animals. He's gonna bring them out, and we're gonna have Matt get up and close and personal with these animals and videotape them.
This is a male tricolor hognose. They're a South American species, and I would have brought the female, but she's in shed.
So on a hognose, don't these like flip over and play dead? Or I'm not familiar with them. I mean, I've seen them.
You know, usually, you know, when their babies are first born, one of their defense mechanisms is they'll turn over, like open their mouth, stick their tongue out, and kind of like exhale. It's like they're flattened out. You know, they're playing dead, so a lot of animals, predators don't really want to mess with dead prey.
Right.
So that's one of their defense mechanisms. The other ones usually, like with the westerns or the Madagascars, is they'll huff out, flatten out like a cobra.
Oh, okay.
All right, and they'll do like a fake strike, but you know they act like they're all big and bad. Something cool with these species that the other hognose don't do is they kind of rattle their tail sometimes. You know, it'll kind of vibrate, which I don't know if he'll do it for me now, but usually when I'm first going to get him out of the tub, I'll sit there and kind of kick back and forth, do like a little similar rattle.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, Matt almost got bit last week by one of the ball pythons.
Did he?
Oh yeah. All right, so this is the second snake that Zach brought over. We're gonna play. What do you think it is?
Well, if I had to guess, could be a pine snake, maybe a bull snake,
Or a black milk snake?
you know, it depends.
It's important to sanitize between working with the different animals.
With the different species, I always like to try to clean my hands, you know, to sanitize, because, you know, usually with, you know, different, like bearded dragons, they can carry like a coccidia and stuff like that, so usually between species and stuff, I have to try to sanitize my hands.
All right, so what are we looking at here?
This is a black pine snake.
Okay.
Her name is Alabama. She's roughly, probably just a little over a year old.
Okay.
Maybe a year and a half.
Where'd you get her from?
I got her from Kevin Ing from the Daytona Reptile Show.
All right.
Back in 2019.
So, looking at black pines, like if I went out of state, I can't, like if someone in Louisiana was selling one, can I buy it?
Well, you can, but you'd have to get the $100 permit interstate permit fee, which, you know, because they're a federally protected snake.
Right.
So typically you have to buy them within the state you reside without having to go through a $100 permit, then going through all the paperwork and what have you from going from state to state.
Right, that's true. Now, have you ever, you know, this year we talked about the Madagascars doing those, so have you ever successfully bred two pines together, or?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's always been kind of a, you know, not really a bucket list, but I've always wanted to work with the species. So this is the first year I'm breeding various kinds of bull snakes, possibly even albino Florida pine snakes. But I don't yet have a breeding group of the black pines.
Okay. All right.
So I'm raising them up, but they're still in the growing process.
All right. Well, we're getting tight on time today, so will you come back next week and show off some more?
Absolutely.
All right. So, where can people find you, to your information, and
I'm on Facebook, Buehler Reptiles, and also on Instagram it's Buehler_reptiles. And that's where you can find my contact information, posts, pictures, what have you. And
how about MorphMarket?
I'm on MorphMarket as well. You know, it kind of goes in spurts, but when I do have something available, it's usually on there.
All right. And do you ship?
Absolutely. Within the United States, I don't really do outside, you know, as far as Europe or anything like that. So.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for coming by.
Absolutely.
We'll see you.
Appreciate it, brother.
See you next week, and we'll look at some more snakes that you brought.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. And leave comments, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Merry Christmas.